back. We back. We back. Welcome to Key to the City, y'all. Finna look at another video. Back at you again. Like I said, trying to find my niche, y'all. I did a funny video. Did a dating video. That's the ones I like. The ones you review 'em. Trying to do them, I think, but y'all get in contact with me and let me know what y'all like. And I try to do that also. But now I'm finna do a crime. I like to watch crimes. So guess I'll switch it up every now and then. So it won't be no one stop shop over here. You can it's all, everything over here. You might see me cooking like I was cooking the other day. Might see me in the yard. Might see me doing this and that. It's all about life over here. So you ain't gonna get no one thing over here. So it's gonna be all everywhere. I might be doing something in the house. So hey, let's get to this video. Y'all subscribe. This alive. Y'all subscribe. Like, run it up, run it up, run it up. Oh, see, I'm messing up already. Hold up, hold up.
Deadly. Las Vegas police announcing the arrest of Manuel Ruiz, accusing him of killing his online rival and the man's wife. A live stream capturing the moment when gunshots rang out, sending tourists scrambling on the strip. Police releasing new details as questions swirl about what led up to the violence. I'm Kennedy Walker, and I'll walk you through the details. You're watching Law and Crime. Footage circulating online appears to show YouTuber Rodney Finley, known to followers as Finny the Legend, spending his final moments with his wife before both were gunned down in Las Vegas Sunday night.
The officers immediately ran towards that gunfire, and they found two victims who were laying on the sidewalk, suffering from apparent gunshot wounds.
The shooting, happening live on a stream, unfolded on the Las Vegas Strip near the Bellagio Hotel. Police identifying the victims as Rodney Finley and his wife, Tanisha Finley.
Our officers rendered medical aid to both victims, but their efforts to save those victims' lives were unsuccessful.
Undersheriff Andrew Walsh confirming the pair knew the suspect. Police later identifying him as Manuel Ruiz.
The suspect and the victim had previously engaged in some type of conflict using.
Y'all type in the chat if y'all know about this. It's been a minute. Let me know if y'all know about this. What y'all think?
Social media platforms.
Hey, y'all like, subscribe.
Reportedly had an ongoing virtual brawl.
What's good?
Jabs, posting heated live streams,
Shower
and calling
Kitty.
each other out
Know what they
across
say?
platforms. Both men building followings on YouTube,
Salute.
fueling an online rivalry that reportedly stemmed from a copyright issue and other personal tensions. Ruiz, known online as Sin City Manny, posting this video widely believed to be aimed at Finley.
Went through every casino there is. I heard there's one of my biggest fans here in town. I'm dying to see him.
After the shooting, Ruiz allegedly left the scene, ditching his shirt, hat, and the gun before hopping into a rideshare, according to an arrest report obtained by KLAS. Investigators say he later surrendered to police, claiming self-defense. Ruiz reportedly told investigators he believed the Finleys were going to shoot him, saying Tanisha Finley was, quote, dancing in his face, and that he saw Rodney Finley.
So I finally got my
commercial,
claim for my car accident, and I'm a little bummed. Really? They only offered me $5,000.
Reaching for his waistband, which he thought was a weapon. Now, Ruiz is facing 2 counts of murder, appearing in court
Salute,
for the
y'all,
first time
salute.
as the online feud that once played out on the screen could head to trial.
Arrested for 2 counts of open murder and use of a deadly weapon. The court declined probable cause existed for your arrest.
Hey, I like the trolls. Trolls, y'all, welcome over here. I like the trolls, y'all. I like to laugh. So, hey, it's all humor, y'all. So, let me see. Uh, hey, it's all loose, y'all. It's loose.
YouTube streamers were in attendance at Ruiz's hearing. Marquise Wiley telling KLAS the feud between the two content creators was, quote, childish and didn't make any sense. Wiley went on to say that he understands wanting to compete for viewers, but he never thought it would end in violence. And here to break down the story with me is criminal defense attorney Michael Troiano. Michael, thank you so much for coming on today.
Absolutely, pleasure to be here.
Now, this case seems like a collision between internet drama and real world tragedy. From a legal perspective, though, how do prosecutors start to piece together intent? In a
Appreciate
case
you.
like this?
Appreciate you.
Well, so far the intent seems pretty clear. You know, although the media does a great job,
I got
they
it
don't
from
always get it
Broken
right,
Bow.
but when you're self-documenting your own online beef, that kind of makes the detective jobs easy for them, right? So it looks like the victims, the gentleman and his girlfriend or wife, as well as the suspect, were in some sort of online YouTube channel beef for the last.
Hey, y'all. Just like, I'm sorry. Hey, this story right here. This story right here. Um, like the YouTube stuff, people be taking it so serious. It's all like some people it's a game, and some people it's uh they make money on her. But man, you gotta let that go, y'all, cause life is too short. Life is too short. That's why I like the trolls. Y'all welcome here. Hey, I like to laugh, joke, joke on me. Joke gonna be on you too. So, hey, I like to joke. I like to go along with it. So, it's sad. It's sad. They didn't have a whole lot of following, but man, some people go to the deep end. You don't even know
Year at least, they've been commenting on things related to Vegas and I guess more specifically or relevant to this situation, their internal hatred or dislike for each other.
I want to thank Odoo for sponsoring this news package. Odoo is a powerful, all-in-one business software that helps you manage everything from sales
Say,
to
hope you
accounting
feel
and
better.
yes, inventory. Their inventory
Hope you feel
dashboard makes
better.
it easy to track receipts, deliver orders, POS orders, and see what's waiting, late, or back ordered at a glance. You can pay for receipts,
What?
automate vendor reminders, and schedule deliveries all in just a few clicks. Plus, you get full warehouse management, the ability to set picking strategies, and real-time stock visibility. And the best part, Odoo's inventory app syncs seamlessly with your sales and e-commerce apps, so everything stays connected. So right now you can get a free 15-day trial of Odoo. Right, and we've seen online beefs escalate before, but not always to this level. I mean, we're talking about 2 deaths here, caught on camera. Could the digital footprint actually end up being the most powerful evidence in court?
There's a ton of evidence in this case, and again, we're not privy to all the information quite yet, but it looks like there's documentation on both the suspect and the deceased YouTube channels documenting the beef, documenting the dislike for each other, as well as the actual shooting itself. I'm sure your viewers have already seen it or will probably be seeing it as part of this clip, but you see them walking by each other in front of the iconic Bellagio fountains right there on the beautiful Las Vegas Strip, and the accused clearly pulls out a firearm, shoots him. You can see the gun, you can see the muzzle go off, and we have 2 deceased individuals.
And he claimed self-defense, the accused, but as we just stated, the live stream seems to show, things played out a different way. And it also shows this prior video of his that he may have actually been searching for Mr. Finley prior to this. How might prosecutors use that to challenge his version of events?
Yeah, so the online documented beef, but again, the defense attorney can say those are words going back and forth on each side. or was video, you're correct, that I watched that was about 24 hours, if that, prior to, where he states his intent that he's actively searching him out to see him in person for some sort of confrontation. In regards to him claiming self-defense, I'm not aware, I haven't been able to see any police reports just yet if he actually spoke to police or gave a statement. From a criminal defense standpoint, that would be a pretty foolish thing to do. You want to invoke your right to remain silent, speak to your attorney so you can keep all options open. But at the end of the day, based on what we've seen so far, it seems very likely that's going to be his only avenue of defense, is to say that, hey, this was an ongoing beef. He was throwing words and threats my way. And when I saw him on the strip, it was commotion, maybe argue that he threatened him or tried to pull out some sort of weapon on his own, although there is no evidence at this point that weapons were found on him or the other deceased, the female who happened to be in a relationship with that.
There are a lot of streamers
Commercial,
here,
y'all,
and they are
commercial.
really enthusiastic about, inviting me to join them in connection. So
That gentleman.
Yes, and we know that according to reports, their beef seems to stem back to some type of copyright issue and just other issues that they had because they were going back and forth on social media reportedly. Could the alleged copyright issue that they were fighting over play a role in motive, or does that just become background noise legally?
It really depends on the defense and or the prosecution strategy. I mean, depending on how serious or petty it is, on which side of the fence you're on, prosecutor or defense, that may be brought in as a highlight and a point of contention, or it might just be white noise and these two engaged in a silly, immature back and forth that led to the death of two individuals.
Right, and it's funny that you use those words, silly and immature, because another YouTuber and streamer spoke to a local station and said that he just found this whole thing to be extremely childish, and now we're dealing with 3 lives essentially gone, 2 that are taken because 2 people are dead, and 1 that there's a possibility he could spend the rest of his life in jail if he's convicted. If you could just talk about that and just the consequences of this man's actions.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, in Nevada, we still have the death penalty, so there's an option for the Clark County District Attorney's Office to take this to the death penalty review panel and make that decision. And they make that based on several factors of mitigating and aggravating circumstances. Even if they
So what's y'all thoughts out there? What's y'all thoughts?
decline to seek the death penalty, you're looking at murder with a deadly weapon. So you got 20 years at the bottom of the sentence, which you do each and every single day of that 20 years on the bottom of a violent offense, such as a murder in Nevada. Per defendant, so there's 40 years on the bottom right then and there. They run them consecutively, and that's not counting the deadly weapon enhancement as well, that they can tack on numerous years to that. So that's an additional range of 1 to 20 years. So 28 years to life with parole, life without parole, or the death penalty per defendant. And he's about 41 years old, is my understanding. And I'm turning 42 here in a few weeks, and though I hope I have a lot of life to live, I certainly want to be facing the next 20, 30 years, possibly the rest of my life in prison. And it seems like a real possibility based upon that video.
Right, and what exactly would prosecutors have to prove in order to make this a death penalty case?
It's not necessarily proof. They make the determination on their own. So they basically look at, let's talk about mitigating factors. What's his lifestyle? What's his criminal history? Through my research, it looks like his criminal history was fairly minimal. It looks like there was a DUI or 2 back in California several years ago. So non-violent criminal history, to the best of my knowledge. Standing in the community. He's gainfully employed, assuming he was making money from his YouTube channel. This wasn't a racial or hate crime as far as we could tell at this point. That would be, an aggravating factor if they were targeting them based upon their sexual orientation, race, other factors of that nature. So if I had to bet on it, I would say that they're probably not going to take this to the death penalty, or they're going to take it to the death penalty panel, excuse me. They will review it, but I believe the ultimate determination would be not to seek the death penalty, but he will still be facing the rest of his life in prison without a doubt.
Well, according to police, the suspect ditches his clothes and the weapon, takes a ride share, and then turns himself in. Does that sequence help or hurt a self-defense claim?
Turning himself in was helpful. There's cases where people abscond, whether it's for weeks or months, or I even have had cases for decades. Somebody's left and then eventually been picked up and found by law enforcement. So the turning himself in goes to his favor. What he did in the interim with the firearm, his clothes, etc., may be able to be explained by his defense attorney. There's certainly reasons why somebody might not immediately go into a police station with a firearm in hand. But if he destroyed the weapon or it's non-recoverable, and there's other factors that lead them to believe that he was thinking about absconding and not returning, but ultimately did, that's going to be a back and forth as well. We call that consciousness of guilt in the law. If you flee and you don't report something to the police or don't reach out to defense counsel immediately so that they can assist you in that determination, that's something that prosecutors commonly argue, is that they were conscious of their guilt and that's why they fled. If they truly felt that they were acting in self-defense, they would have stayed at the scene or close enough to the scene in which they weren't in danger and immediately contacted law enforcement.
Right, and like we discussed, he
3 signs your car accident is worth major
Commercial, y'all.
compensation.
Commercial.
If you've been in a car accident recently, there are 3 critical signs that could indicate your case is worth.
According to police, did not stay on the scene. He ran away. Ruiz says, according to police, that he thought that the Finleys were going to shoot him, but no weapon was found. How do courts typically evaluate those split-second decisions?
So at the end of the day, the jury will likely decide not only if he's guilty or not guilty, but in murder cases, typically the jury is the one who decides the sentencing. In order to waive your right to have the jury sentence you, which is very unique in the state of Nevada, at least strictly for murder cases, both parties, being the prosecution and the defense, would have to waive that and say, we both agree we're going to allow the judge to specifically sentence him in this case. So it really determines. So under your hypothetical, if the judge, would you say the courts, was the one that hypothetically was to render this sentence, they're going to determine all of the factors. And I think really the most damning information is going to be, what was this beef really about? Is this about something as simple as a white collar copyright issue? How relevant is that even to the case? It doesn't seem like there was, at least at this point, I'm sure more videos would surface, but actual threats of violence, like next time I see you, you're dead on sight. I've had those cases where there's long, drawn out beefs, and the argument typically is, and you need to just demonstrate that as defense counsel, is that my client was under a firm and realistic belief that the next time he ran into that individual, he was dead on sight and had no option to wait for the other person to shoot him first. You know, what's the old saying that I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6? That's how you need to frame the story in context of a criminal trial.
Right. Well, it seems like this, and I guess, we will hear and find out more information as, the days go on, but it just seems like this was very petty, things that they were arguing over. It didn't seem like it was something big enough for someone to lose their life. He reportedly told police, according to documents, that Tanisha, which was Mr. Finley's wife, was dancing in his face. Even the fact that he said that to police, could that argument that he felt provoked hold any legal?
Fact. It's not a good fact. It's not great evidence. It's what specifically.
All right, got to cut this short, y'all. What y'all think about this? What y'all think about this? No, yeah, I heard about it. What y'all think about this? People, hey, y'all can't be telling people pull up now. People throw it all away. Man, Just can't be throwing it all away, y'all. You have to think about it. Think about it before you do it. Think about it. But salute and peace